There's a lot of wonderful functions in the BERNINA 570 Quilters Edition. Hi, I'm Sara from sewingmastery.com, where we do short videos on all the functions throughout the machine so you can learn it and master it and move on. We also have the BERNINA Stitching Cosmos online course where you can learn lots about your machine, your decorative stitches, and all those wonderful BERNINA presser feet. So one of the things I do use when I work with decorative stitches, or even when I'm doing basic stitching, is actually the securing function. Now, yes, you do have the reverse button right here, but in the eye, touch the eye for information, you have this little knot. So here's how I want to explain it, so you can really try it on your own, and that's the only way you're really going to get used to using it, is think of it as an on-demand locking stitch. So if you want those extra stitches to just be like quick little up, down, you want to actually engage it before you start. You'll see the symbol show right here, and sometimes I'll just leave this screen kind of open at this point so I can touch it whenever I'm ready to use it. So for example, on a straight stitch, you're going to just see that the needle will go up and down. But watch the screen. So here's my locking stitch, and then it disappears and the function is no longer yellow, which means selected or highlighted. So if I want to add that, I'll need to touch it again and then go ahead and stitch, and that way it is added at that time. So here's another thing. If you go ahead and touch it while you're sewing, you're going to notice it will lock and then it quits. So depending on when you actually touch it and activate it, you may get two different choices. So what I'm going to do is actually show you on a decorative stitch, and I'm going to zoom in on the foot so you can really see how and where it's going to be placed. So I've actually picked this stitch, the honeycomb stitch, stitch number 8, to show you what I mean. So without doing any of the securing stitch function, when I start sewing, it just starts stitching and may not be as locked as possible. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up that little screen here, and I'm going to add the locking stitch. So I've touched it while I've stopped, and so that means it's going to finish the pattern and then lock. With my foot on the foot control, the machine locks and comes to a complete stop, and my foot is actually still pushing down on the foot control, so it stops for me. So if I want it to lock again when I start, I'll need to retouch it, which I have, so it's yellow on screen. So we have the lock, okay, and this time I'm going to touch it while I'm sewing. So when I do that, again, it will go ahead, finish to the end of the pattern, lock and stop. So sometimes you don't know where the actual end of the pattern is, but you want it to find it for you. That's what I did right here with this little flower, and it locked it. And then I was trying the straight stitches, just so I refamiliarized myself with how the securing stitch works. But here, or the securing function, I should say, the function is a one-time use. So after you touch it and it locks, it's done. You'll activate it when you want it, and just note that it's always at your fingertips and you never know where you want it to be. So keep that in mind, that it's always there, and when you're doing decorative stitches, decorative work, and you just need it to lock for you, instead of you kind of making the needle go up and down all by itself in its own hole. I know I've sometimes tried to make it do it where I want it, and gosh, I had a function right there, right at my fingertips for me to use. So check out all of our videos on the BERNINA 570 as we go through all the functions, features, stitches, feet, and the embroidery part of this machine.